Today's reading is taken from 1 Samuel, chapter 21 to chapter 22, verse 5. David went north to Ahimelech the priest. Ahimelech trembled when he met him and asked, "Why are you alone? Why is no one with you?" David answered Ahimelech the priest, "The king sent me on a mission and said to me, 'No one is to know anything about the mission I'm sending you on. As for my men, I have told them to meet me at a certain place. Now then, what have you to hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread, or whatever you can find." But the priest answered David, "I don't have any ordinary bread to hand. However, there is some consecrated bread here, provided the men have kept themselves from women." David replied, "Indeed, women have been kept from us, as usual whenever I set out. The men's bodies are holy, even on missions that are not holy. How much more so today?" So the priest gave him the consecrated bread, since there was no bread there, except the bread of the presence that had been removed from before the Lord, and replaced by hot bread on the day it was taken away. Now, one of Saul's servants was there that day, detained before the Lord. He was Doeg the Edomite, Saul's chief shepherd. David asked Ahimelech, "Don't you have a spear or sword here? I haven't brought my sword or any other weapon, because the king's mission was urgent." The priest replied, "The sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom you killed in the valley of Elah, is here. It is wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you want it, take it. There's no sword here but that one." David said, "There is none like it. Give it to me." That day, David fled from Saul and went to Achish, king of Gath. But the servants of Achish said to him, "Isn't this David the king of the land? Isn't he the one they sing about in their dances? Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." David took these words to heart and was very much afraid of Achish, king of Gath. So he feigned insanity in their presence, and while he was in their hands, he acted like a madman, making marks on the doors of the gate, and let his saliva run down his beard. Achish said to his servants, "Look at the man, he is insane. Why bring him to me? Am I so short of madman that you have to bring this fellow here to carry on like this in front of me? Must this man come into my house?" Continue to chapter 2, verse 1 to 5. David left Gath and escaped to the cave of Baliw. When his brothers and his father's household heard about it, they went down to him there. All those who were in distress, or in debt, or discontented gathered around him, and he became their commander. About 400 men were with him. From there, David went to Mizpah in Moab and said to the king of Moab, "Would you let my father and mother come and stay with you until I learn what God will do for me?" So he left them with the king of Moab, and they stayed with him so long as David was in the stronghold. But the prophet Gad said to David, "Do not stay in the stronghold, go into the land of Judah." So David left and went to the forest of Hirah. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. Great, let's keep that passage open. Actually, we're doing 21 to 23, so quite a bit. I hope you've read it. It helps a lot. Next week is 24 to 26. So please keep your Bibles open or keep your Bibles unlocked, right? I think this is one of the greatest inventions there is, the smartphone. And especially what I really like is the Bible app. You never forget your Bible, you've always got it on you. Very useful. Did you know that a Bible app can save your life? Did you know that? It has made such a difference for a lot of Christians in other countries. Imagine you live in Iran, right? Where you're not allowed to be a Christian. Would you like sit in a coffee shop and open your Holy Bible for everyone to see? You wouldn't, right? But now you can make your phone out. And everyone thinks you're just doing Facebook. Actually, you're reading God's Word. Right? Bible apps can save your life. Because the thing is, for many people in the world, many Christians' life is not safe. Many places in the world, well, it's quite tough to be a Christian. Of course, there can be this kind of official persecution, but even just a normal Christian life, where people don't like you, where people insult you, where they make fun of you, where you get excluded from things because you're a Christian. And of course, most of us don't want that. We want to have a nice, comfortable life. And being a Christian can be, well, it's not attractive at all. Many people find it hard to be, if you're running around, it's not easy to become a Christian. So, what you get invited to your life, you don't want that. We want to have a nice, easy life. We want to have a roof and clothes and food and no one to disturb us. And then you shouldn't become a Christian. Being a Christian is often just not safe. Well, that is what we're going to look at today. Is it safe to be a Christian? It's a question we have. We've been going through 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel, the life of David, Israel's greatest king. And of course, we should join David. David is the king. He's the picture of Jesus, our great king. But as we've seen in the last few chapters, David is on the run. He's a fugitive. And if you follow David, well, you're going to suffer. And David gets spears thrown at him. Well, Jonathan swears loyalty to him. He gets spears thrown to him. Jonathan, the king's whole son. Being a Christian, well, being a follower of the king is not safe. Well, it is. That's what we're going to look at today. We have these 3 chapters. And you wonder why we're doing 3 chapters. Do we have to? Well, I think it is one section. Because if you've read chapter 22, I hope you see there's a bit of a structure. And at the beginning of the chapter, you have these people coming to David. Then we have this horrific story where Saul murders the priests. And then we have again someone who escapes and comes to David. And David welcomes him. Come, with me you're safe. So it seems to be kind of pregnant by that. But then you add the other chapters. It's all David on the run. Very similar chapters, and you read the commentaries and they kind of, why do we have 2 the same chapters? Well, that's because that's what they often do in the Old Testament. It's a kind of structure, it's called a chiasm, where they don't put 3 things in a row, but they put the 3 points inside out, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm taking these as 3 chapters. And as we see, there's a contrast. There's Saul and David. And what's the better place to be? Should you be with Saul? Or should you go out and be with David? Join him as a fugitive. He's in a cave. Do you want to join him in the cave? Well, you can see people coming to David. That's what he wants. That's what God wants. But how can we do that? Well, let's look. Where are we safe? With Saul or with David? And I think, first of all, I guess very clearly, you're not safe with Saul. Let's start with the middle. Because, David's a fugitive, but is it better to just stay home and stay, under the reign of Saul? Well, as you've seen, it's not great to be with Saul. Before we go to 2022, I guess we need some background. Why is Saul murdering these priests? Well, we heard that in the reading, right? David, he's again on the run. He needs food, so he goes to the priest in the town called Hall. The priest is a bit worried, right? Here is the commander of the army suddenly coming to my temple. What's going on? Well, David says, I want a secret mission. My men are over there. Do you have bread for me? Just in case you're wondering, I think that's a lie. David is just lying here. The Bible doesn't comment on that. I think he's just trying to protect the priest. Right? He's saying, well, look, I'm on official business, my men are elsewhere, just give me food. And in good faith, well, the priest gives him food. And so that he's not a traitor. The problem is, the priest, he gives food to David, gives him a sword, but then someone from Saul is there. This guy away, Saul's chief shepherd is there. And then in chapter 22, what happens? Well, Saul is a bit miserable, he can't get David. And then Doeg says, actually, David, he was in law. And he went to the priest, and the priest gave him all his food and a sword. Well, okay, Saul is angry, right? And he summons the priests, all their families, and he's angry. Why are you betraying me? And why did you side with the son of Jesse and give him food and everything? Well, the priest said, well, we've done nothing wrong, right? Verse 14, Ahimelech answered the king, who for your servants is as loyal as David? Of course I take care of your captain and the secret mission. He's done nothing wrong. But Saul, he won't have it. Saul will just, verse 16, the king said, you will surely die, Ahimelech. You and all your whole family. You've been helping David, I don't believe you. And he asked this guy to wait, and you turn and strike down